You're back on the air with the restaurant brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon from We Sell Restaurants. We Sell Restaurants operates the largest restaurant brokerage company in the nation based on the number of listings, transaction count, and volume. We are franchising nationwide and have offices in Florida, Colorado, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. We are lucky today to be joined by Chef Eddie Russell. He's talking about his new show on the cooking channel, Belly Up. So for folks listening today, they haven't gone into the business yet, but they are thinking about it. What advice would you give a young would-be bar owner starting out in the business? If you were, Eddie at 12, what would you tell him?
I would say exactly what I said a minute ago, which is think about what you're going to do with food before you try to start doing food. So many people open up and they're like, oh, well, we're just going to only serve cheesesteaks and French fries. So we're going to have a flat top and a deep fryer, and that's it. And then 6 months down the road, they're like, oh, no, we're going to serve X, Y, and Z. And you're not designed, you're not built for that. So really think long and hard. Like when you're writing your business plan, when you're sourcing venture capital, when you're really thinking about this, like do your market research, talk to people, go to places that you like and try to mimic what they're doing. I'm not saying rip them off, but like if you are a big fan of tacos and you want to open a cool bar that serves tequila and tacos, and that's what you want to do, then dear God, do your research and talk to people about how food is made and how food production really works, because that is going to save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars down the road. Because if you need refrigeration, it's a heck of a lot cheaper to build that into your business plan, to build that into your kitchen layout before you start breaking ground and building things. The last thing you want to do is have to realize that you need $12,000 of refrigeration and you don't have the room for it.
Right, or try to stick it out the back door and talk the landlord into it, because we've seen that.
Exactly.
So it looks like your show is every Monday night beginning in June. So 9 p.m. Eastern time on the East Coast, and then 6 p.m. Where can folks go and learn more about you, about this great new show, Belly Up?
TheCookieChannel.com has a lot of good information, and it links to the other things I'm doing too in my life, which, I'm doing consulting, and then I do an underground restaurant still in Athens called Coterie and Thai. So you can find out a little bit about that too. But for the most part, Cooking Channel has all that you need to know.
So you stay very busy, I guess. Still cooking on the ground, solving the world's problem in the bar business, one bar at a time?
Yeah, I'm not really... I'd rather be busy than bored.
Absolutely. One other thing that, food costs. Numbers is something that our listeners, of course, as restaurant workers, numbers a lot to us. Mm-hmm. What do you see? Give us a range, food costs. People listening right now, hey, I'm running gastropub and I'm running 40% because, I'm doing finer ingredients. I don't believe 40% sustainable cost at this point. What do you see? What do you think they should be around food cost-wise, people?
Again, it depends on your size of restaurant and what you really want to do. If you are a gastropub that is serving fresh oysters and, some charcuterie and all that, you are probably going to be more around anywhere from 28 to 32. Those are reasonable food cost paradigms for that environment. But if you are the place that's serving cheesesteaks and tacos, you should be more in the low 20s. The places that try to aim for like 18, 20, that's really, really hard. And you start cutting corners that ultimately don't benefit you long term, because then you've got all these staffing issues, you've got quality, you've got waste. People aren't really thinking about it.
And you're eyeballing the frozen section at that point.
Yeah. Again, frozen food goes bad. People don't think about it, but just because it's in the freezer does not mean it's still good.
I think it was bad before it went in the freezer.
Well, I agree with you too.
So what do you see on the horizon? What's the trend that you think bars will be following in the next, if you took out your crystal ball for the next few years?
I still think it is the current what's happening. There's no real name for it. People call it New American, but it is this, it's sort of been birthed out of the farm to table movement, is knowing where your things come from, there being a narrative, there being a story. People actually care. The term mixologist didn't exist a decade ago. Not right. Really. It wasn't, at least in common parlance. So people want to have a face to their food. They want to know what's happening with their food. And I think people really care about quality. I think we're really getting away from just the smash and grab mentality of just throwing everything on your menu and not really caring about the quality of food.
And I think baby boomers are aging, and they're also looking at the quality of what they put into their bodies.
Exactly.
And, food is more than just sustenance. Mm-hmm. It's become something that you're really looking at. How does it interact with my body? What nutrients is it giving me? What's the best, that I can do to stay in shape?
And in my opinion, bar's no different than that. I don't think that, a lot of times people think that bar food has to be just the greasy spoon gut bomb. And it doesn't. I mean, I can have a glass of wine and a kale salad at a bar and be super happy, and then have, again, something like a grilled piece of fish. And it doesn't have to be heavy, overbearing, fat, concentrated food. I mean, I think people care about what they're eating now. And I think you're seeing a lot of chefs in every gamut of society now doing food that is actually good for you. I think that's the new trend. I mean, it's that food should be healthy.
Absolutely. No, that's good advice. And that's what I'm looking for personally. I mean, I want to go to a pub. I want to go and enjoy the experience, but I don't want to have the fried food and the greasy stuff. And I know, Eddie, for a fact, we have some customers listening, and I know there's people listening out there that have their bar since 1971. And at best right now, their bar is looking like a 1974 bar. Mm-hmm. Their menu, their interior decor, everything. But they're like, like you said earlier, I'm so scared of what I don't know that I'm keeping with this. But I know it. I got to change because literally my customers are dying one at a time. Mm-hmm. My sales are dropping. What advice, if they can't get Eddie to come see them, what 30-second best advice they can start? Where can they start and point the right direction to start making a change to their place?
I think, again, it's knowing who you want to be. And the best thing you can do, the free consulting you can get, is to go to places that you like, that really have a salience with you, that you feel are doing something good. And don't necessarily copy that, because that's never going to work. But see what's working and then try to find your own voice to recreate that. If you're known for making a really great ham sandwich, I mean, whatever, then focus on that and build from there. If you're the Irish pub in the middle of wherever and you do a great shepherd's pie, then get rid of all the other things on the menu that were just fluff and focus on a few small dishes. And then do some, modern touches. I mean, like if the table is broken and, it's held together by duct tape, maybe you should buy a new table.
Okay, so they need to go to cookingchannel.com.
Yes, ma'am.
To, it's cookingchanneltv.com, isn't it? cookingchanneltv.com, and they can find out all the information about this new show, Belly Up. Is that also where they go if they want to pitch their restaurant to you for a reinvention?
That, I don't know. I haven't really put that out there yet.
Okay.
Well, if they need help, they can always come to WeSellRestaurants.com and contact us, and we'll contact Chef Eddie to help you out and connect you with him. How about that?
Absolutely. I'm always here to help.
You're awesome.
Well, we cannot thank you enough for your time today. Everyone is excited about this new show on the Cooking Channel, Belly Up. We can't wait to start watching every Monday night. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Remember, today's show is sponsored in part by Today's Restaurant, the food service industry newspaper, and one of our sponsors. To get your free subscription to Today's Restaurant delivered monthly in the mail, visit their website at www.trnusa.com. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We are the Restaurant Brokers, and we've been talking to Cooking Channel's Chef Eddie Russell and his new show, Belly Up.